Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back. Today we will discuss the first poetic selection, Poetry, Turtle Watchers by Linda Hogan. I discussed before the difference between poetry and prose. We agreed that prose is irregular language, which is writing, following the, normal grammatical structure of sentences. But poetry is completely different because there is some sort of poetic license, or you can write phrases, different sentences, rhythmic language, musical effects. Okay, so poetry is a type of literature that has its own rhythms, structure, written in stanzas, different types of stanzas, free verse, and so on. So let's directly go to the first poem and make some sort of paraphrase and analysis for the poem and have a small hint about the poet. So here we have Linda Hogan. Linda K. Hogan, she was born July 16, 1947. She's a poet, storyteller, academic, playwright, novelist, and environmentalist, and a writer of short stories. Her writing often addresses topics such as the environment, ecofeminism, and Native American history. An activist and educator, Hogan has spoken at various global conferences and events, including the Environmental Literature Conference in Turkey in 2009. She lives in the Colorado Mountains and teaches creative writing. Okay, actually I got this hint from the Wikipedia and my perspective level 7. So if you need to know more, you can go on the internet and try to find more about her. She's a comprehensive writer. She wrote nearly most or all types of literature, plays, stories, novels. What else? So she's a comprehensive writer and author and poet. Let's see, what about Turtle Watchers? We will deal with it each 4 verses or each stanza separately. We will have an analysis or paraphrase for it. So, old mother at winter's edge used to bow down to them, the turtles coming in from the sea, their many eggs. So the poet here says that old mothers are waiting on the edge, watching the sea turtles come in to the seashore to lay their eggs. Old mothers are bowing to show respect and consideration. We as humans or human beings used to bow for old mothers, but here she says that old mothers bow to show respect to turtles. Here there is some sort of respect to turtles. It's a part of nature, by the way. Turtles are slow and creative creatures. They came to the shore to lay an egg or to lay eggs, as this is the normal place. Most of fish and some sort of these creatures lay their eggs. He, or the poet, showing a great respect to them, to the limit that she made the old mothers, which we should bow to show respect to them, they bow to show respect to turtles. This is simply the paraphrase of the first stanza. The second stanza, their eyes streaming water like tears, and I would see it all. Old mothers, as if in prayer, the turtles called back to where they were born. The poet here compared the water in the eyes of turtles to human tears. And this is, by the way, this is a simile. So simile is comparing two creatures, two things together when they have a shared characteristic, or one of them is likened or compared to the other one to share the same characteristics. He likens turtle to old mothers in the prayers. He's making a reference to the life cycle of turtles that came again, as if someone is calling them to lay the eggs in the same place they were born before. So they come again to see and to lay eggs in the same place they were born in the past. We have here many similes, like as if in a prayer. So he compared turtles to old mothers in prayer. Okay. He also compared the water streaming on the eyes of turtles to be like a tears, and it's a heavy tears. So this is some sort of figures of speech and a paraphrase about this stanza. The third stanza: the hungry watchers standing at the edge of trees, hoping for food when darkness gather. Years later, swimming in murky water, a sea turtle swam beside me. The poet here draws two different relations between turtles and man. Hungry watchers could be people or animals that are waiting to eat its eggs at night, or when when darkness comes. Years later, he swam beside turtles. The poet swam beside turtles in the dark, unclear water. The poet says that there are many relations between him and turtles. From one side, and a beneficial relation between turtles and hungry watchers who are waiting to eat their eggs when in suitable time. This assures the relation between all elements of nature and its living creatures. Here he says that these turtles come in to lay eggs on the shore, but the hungry watchers are waiting there on the edge of trees to eat these eggs. Hopping for food, waiting for food to catch or collect or eat these eggs at night after darkness, or maybe after the leave of turtles. So the poet wanted to draw a relation between man and turtles, or between him and turtles, that years later, after that, he swam in the unclear, murky water, means dark, unclear water, beside turtles. So this is a great relation between them. In the next stanza, we will see that they travel and they swam together, holding hands or clasping. That's it. So they wanted to just swim together, spend a nice time, enjoy swimming and roaming here and there. Let's see what is next. Both of us watching as if clasped together in the lineage of the same world, the sweep of the same current, even rising for a breath of air at the same time. There is a connection between him and turtles. Okay, he says that they swam together, holding hands in water, swimming and enjoying, holding hands, clasped, enjoying nature and facing problems together, facing the same waves in the sea, the sweep of the same current, enjoying all elements of nature together. They also are a part of the harmony of nature. The speaker says that when she was holding hands, swimming beside the turtles, she felt a deep relation and shared many experiences and memories together with her. So he says that, or he, here adhering some, we can say, human characteristic to turtles. So here, both of us watching as if clasped together, like holding hands. So as if they are two human beings holding hands. Okay. Here, when he say even raising for a breath of air at the same time, the sweep of the same current, he wanted to say that he with turtles faced good times and bad times together. The last stanza, I think, still watching, my ancestors, call them the keepers of doors, and the sure realm to other worlds. In this stanza, and I think it's not the last, he likens the seashore to be an entrance and a door to the sea. And since turtle came to the edge or seashore, he considers them doorkeepers or watchers. He likens the sea to a home or a kingdom, and a shore to be the door, and turtles are the door's guards to this home. So he says that his ancestors, the poet's ancestors, called these turtles and asked them to keep watching or guarding the doors, the entrance of the sea or the ocean. Okay. Both ways and water move the deep shaft of life back to birth and before, as if there is a path where beings truly meet, as if I am rounding the human corners. There is an old deep relation between our ancestors to the ancestors of turtles. When she was holding hands together with turtles roaming together in a deep dark water, believes that there is a real connection between man, human beings, and turtles in the old ages, ancestors. The poet says that there is a path where she or the man in general met with turtles in the past. Through such a path, he can wander around the human corners and ancestors. So here he's drawing a complete picture, image about turtles and the deep relation, old relation between man and these creatures, as if there is, they were friends, holding hands, spending nice, good, and bad times together. So let's move to the next step. Here we need to do some sort of analysis or ask some sort of questions and answer them at the same time. Read these lines from Turtle Watchers and answer. My ancestors called them the keepers of doors and the shore, a realm to other worlds. Which of the following phrases most accurately identifies the poem's speaker? Okay, human observer. Like he's saying, he's using the personal pronouns, my ancestors. Call them. So here, it's clearly a human observer. It is not necessary to be a sea turtle, an old mother, a sea turtle's enemy. No, it's a human observer, a watcher. Here, what are the hungry watchers doing? The hungry watchers are waiting for darkness and hoping to eat of eggs of turtles. So these hungry watchers, they are waiting or looking for food. Okay, what happens years later? So years later, the speaker swims next to a sea turtle and feels connected to it and to her ancestors. These are simple questions about the poem. Here I'd like to offer some figures of speech, which is metaphor. A metaphor is an expression which describes a person or object in a literary way by referring to something that is considered to have a similar characteristics to the person or object you are trying to describe. Like, the mind is an ocean and the city is a jungle are both metaphors. He likened mind to ocean, or he compared mind to an ocean, wide, vast ocean. The city is a jungle, crowded, full of dangers, and so on. Personification is a figure of speech in which human characteristics are attributed to a non-human thing. This allows writers to create life and motion within inanimate objects, animals, and even abstract ideas by assigning them recognizable human behaviors and emotions, simply to give a non-human a human characteristic, like to say, I called the dog, or I shook hand with the dog. And here, when the poet said that clasping together with turtles, this is simply personification. When you say, I talk to the sea, I talk to the moon, so the moon is not listening, the sea is not listening. So this is a personification to give, adhere, a human characteristic to a non-human creature. Let's have some sort of example about personifications. My ancestors called them. This is truly personification. The poet compares the turtle to human beings, that being called by his ancestors, as if turtles are human beings, as I told you. The keepers of doors, also personification. He dealt with turtles to be like door guards or watchers who keep the safety of place and considered the sea as a kingdom or a home that needs guards or watchers to watch it. I'm gonna stop here because if we gonna go in a full detailed analysis, we need more and more slides to explain. Please, if you have any comments, questions, leave it below the video. You should do your own analysis, explanation, paraphrase, find your own figures of speech, musical effects. You can find similes, metaphors, and so on. Thank you for listening and watching, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.